Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I said, now swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. Gonna shout it out loud. Now I'm out of... Sorry. I understand now what I'm here for. What this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming out loud and clear. I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, about lending a hand, about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Thank you, Gilman. Great to have Gilman live music in the house. And so Rumi shares this, that the doors of our heart open outward. They open outward. The doors of our love open outward. And so that song reminded me of Rumi. And opening our heart today, that's what we're here to do. And that's what we're here to be. And that's what we're here to become, is that open heart of love that flows out into the world. And so now we're going to our announcements, our flower ministry. And today, the flowers were sponsored by Lily Brown, who's right back there, one of our sponsors. We thank you. And I asked her who it was in honor of, and she said it's in honor of my birthday. So it's her birthday month. So we're really glad to have you here today. Thank you for sponsoring the flowers. And you can join up for the flower ministry. It's $40 to sponsor flowers. And for any special event, any event in your career, any event in your life, or for no reason at all, just because it's a beautiful day, or best of ever, celebrate your own birthday. Great. Thank you so much, Lee. We really appreciate you sharing this with the community today. And join us for a casual conversation. That's our How to Speak Science of Mind. It's the first and third Sundays of the month, 9 to 9:30. Currently in Carter Hall, we're working on getting a divider door, so we'll have a separate classroom there. But right now it is in Carter Hall because we outgrew the Ohm room in the office. We had about 11 people last time. So that'll be next Sunday, I believe, is the third Sunday, so we'll have that going. Yeah, that'll be the third Sunday. Next Sunday, 9 to 9:30. Come grab a cup of coffee and join us for a casual conversation about what this teaching is about and how it might work in your life and how you see it working in your life. Wednesday Wellness, we're going up. It'll be the first Wednesday in March. We just had that. It's conscious conversation about science of mind, anything you want to talk about. What's on your mind? What do you want to share? What do you want to come together in collective community and know the highest good and the spiritual good of this teaching working in your life despite appearances? And that's hosted by our practitioner, Tommy Jones, and myself. So join us on the first Wednesday Wellness, Midweek Faith Lift, and that'll be the first Wednesday. And if you let me know, there'll be a sign-up list in Carter Hall. Give me your email. Let me know you want to be on that list, and if you give me your email, we'll email you the link that is on Zoom. Good Grief Support Group every Thursday right here, 1 to 2:30. Anything you want to share, loss of a career, loss of spiritual connection, anything that relates to loss in your life that you want to talk about. And somehow, we almost always find our way to laughter by the end of the group, and that's why we call it Good Grief. Our Good Grief Support Group. It's a wonderful and safe space to do some deep healing work. Healing is revealing what's underneath all of that grief, and as we reveal that and we heal that, we come back to a more full life. The grief will be there, but life comes back in a fuller way. So the grief, while it's there, is a smaller part of the pie, and that's grief work. It's always going to be there, but it's not so overwhelming. So come join us. Movie night this week is Antoine Fisher, and it's going to be spaghetti dinner, movie night, and I just will give you a warning. It's a very honest movie about very deep healing, the kind of healing most of us don't want to look at and don't want to talk about. So it's a movie that is very honest and very deep, but it's a movie that's going to help reveal ourselves to ourselves. But when we do the deep work, and really do the deep work, we come to a spiritual peace and a spiritual centeredness, and we reconnect with ourselves, with our families, with our community. But I will let you know, it's a very realistic look at how much work it takes to go deep, to stay with the work until we've completed the work and we come back to knowing ourselves better. So please be there. It's a great movie, but it will push some buttons, is what I'm going to say. But know that if it pushes your button, you're the one who installed that button, and you're the only one who can uninstall it. So that's this movie, but know it's going to hit some buttons, and that's okay. Science of Mind discussion group at Emmy's the first Thursday of every month. I believe it's 9:30 to 11:30. So join Emmy and contact Emmy about further information on that discussion group with Science of Mind. And shared prayer circle after service in the Ohm Room, which was my office, is now the Ohm Room. It's right through here. And Adrian Madden, who is our practitioner and is here today, will be leading the shared prayer circle in the Ohm Room. So afterwards, if there's anything on your heart you'd like to talk about and open your heart a little bit further, go to our shared prayer circle in the Ohm Room. It's a really safe space, a really quiet space to really come to open your heart to the love that's inside. Because Ernest Holmes says, love heals, reveals, and makes whole. So it's a very loving space where you get to open and bring your love forth. After service, our community potluck in Carter Hall today, and I know there's a lot of good food out there. A lot of people have contributed to that potluck, so come join us, and it's really about community connection, not just about the food. So join us for that. Adrian Madden is offering a complimentary practitioner session to anyone here today, anyone in our community. So avail yourself of that practitioner session with Adrian. I know he would love to meet with you one-on-one. So it's a great gift to the community, and it'd be a great gift to work with Adrian. So take advantage of that while that offer is still there. And we are having our annual membership meeting next Sunday, the 15th. And nominations are still open. If you want to be part of this community, join the board of directors. You can't be receiving any compensation from this. And you need to have been a member of CSLB for 6 months. And it's a responsibility that we meet once a month to be in stewardship of this community. And we'd love to see you on the board. So if you've been here, if you've taken you do need to have taken a foundations class within, I think, the last 5 years, or we will start one. So if you have any interest, you want to talk to Marcia in the office and fill out a form. So we do have 2 positions open on the board. So please, if you're interested in stepping into leadership, we would love to have you step up. And again, our annual membership meeting next Sunday, the 15th. So be here for that. And now I'm going to invite Gilman to do his second song, and we're calling it kind of a meditative, contemplative song.
Centering song.
There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he passed my way. And while we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me: the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. The greatest thing you ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
And so now I'm going to invite Yvonne Fowler, practitioner of the day, up to do what we're now calling our reflection, no longer a power talk. And she said, I'm glad we're not calling it a power talk because I'm not sure it's a power talk, but it is a reflection. So Yvonne will be doing, as a practitioner today, the reflection and then the invocation. So welcome to the podium.
Hello. Okay. Well, when I think about, this is February. It's 6 weeks into the new year, right? And I have been used to doing New Year's resolutions. Well, I usually give it like 6 weeks and then I give up because I haven't done what I said I was going to do. So I'm going to do things differently this time. So in January, do you remember Reverend Sunshine Day was here with us? She graced us with her presence. And I had purchased her book, Begin Within, a playbook for living your genuine life. So of course I pulled it out because she was coming. And I read it again and I thought, God, there's so much information in there. And I'm going to do it. So you take a theme each month, and I took imagination for February. And then, it's a special gift from God. I never thought about that before, did you? I mean, our imagination is something out of sight. And when you think about it, I mean, it's visioning, it's visualization, it's all those things, but sometimes you think you're not creative until you think about what your imagination can do. And we all have it, and we all use it, and we use it for good and maybe not so good things. But our imagination is the production of sensations, feelings, and thoughts informing ourselves, okay? Using our imagination, what we can do is make a mental picture of anything we want. We all have it, and we can all do that. And we can all be really creative, just obeying what we want to do. So I'm using my quiet time in meditation to imagine God. And I'm looking for a thing to keep my mind centered on meditation. I attempted to make a mental picture in my mind of what God is. It didn't work. Because God is everything. It's like Adrian said in his meditation. You know, God is the sun, God is the moon, God is the apple seed, God is the rivers, God is everything. So how do you make a mental picture of that? So I'm going to start looking at all those things that God is whenever my mind wanders. Whatever it is, because God is all there is. I'm presently enrolled in the online class 2026, Your Year of Illumined Intention, and it's facilitated by Reverend Michael and Reverend Marilyn. I didn't want to go back to my old patterns and not do what I said I'd do for my New Year's resolutions. And I'm calling them intentions. So I took this class. And what it's talking about in the course, it's divided into 4 parts: creativity and self-expression, health and wellness, relationships and connection, and prosperity and purpose. So all of those areas are covered in the 4 weeks that we're doing this course. And in the process of meditation, visioning, and releasing what no longer serves us, we can change how we see things and maybe keep those resolutions that I wanted to do for January for the rest of the year. It's a new way of thinking, and it's using my imagination to translate that inner knowledge and that the divine information that is sent so that I can do that. Our goal of the course is to move into alignment with the greater yet to be. And if I do it, it's a process in all 4 of these areas, the same process. And it's what we do here all the time. But it is making it more clear. So if I continue to do that, I'm going to be the greater yet to be in my life. And that's what we're trying to do, align ourselves to do that in the class. My intention is to improve my conscious connection with God through prayer and meditation. I imagine seeing and feeling and knowing God in all there is, in that all I do. So I'm going to try really hard, not try, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And it's about embodying the imagery to such a degree that when I'm ready, it's given to me and I accept it. Because God always says yes, right? So I'm going to be ready this time and I'm going to really do it. As Henry David Thoreau reminds us, go comfortably and confidently into the direction of your dreams. Love the life you imagined, and so it is. So take the course next year. If you come together for invocation, just center yourself. There's only one life, one spirit, one love. God is everywhere present in and all through things. I sense that presence everywhere, in the seasons of the year, now blooming the trees and flowers, in the mountains surrounding us, in my fellow man. Spirit is present in the energy beyond sight, beyond hearing, beyond touch, knowing only as a sense, a feeling, and a knowing. God is the creator of this and so much, much, much more. God's energy is everywhere present. Knowing that God is all there is and through all, I know that I am a divine manifestation of God, the one presence and power. As I know this for myself, I know this is true for all people. We are one. Today I bless the congregation here and on social media who have come to hear the message from Reverend Michael. He's the vessel through which Spirit sends its message. I bless the media technicians as the service runs smoothly and effortlessly. For the musician whose voice and words enhance our service. Knowing that today's theme, Magic to Do Miracles of the Heart, is what we're all called to hear. As we listen to the lesson and hear the message, we know that Spirit is communicating with us. We know what is ours to do, and so it is. And now, Reverend Michael.
And so it is. Thank you for a wonderful power talk, Yvonne. I'll give you a hug here. That was a wonderful power talk, and so focused and so centered on the energy and the presence and the power of possibility that we're making welcome today. And I'll share, Yvonne sent me a text a couple of weeks ago, one of those surprising texts, and sort of out of the blue. And what do we talk about? Out of the blue of consciousness. Some people say out of the blue of the sky, right? Out of the blue of the sky. And in the book Illusions, I believe it's from Richard Bach, and I believe it's in Illusions, he invites us as a meditative practice to make welcome cloud vaporizing, to demonstrate your power of imagination that Yvonne spoke about, and to lie on your back on a cloudy day and visualize those clouds just disappearing and letting the clear blue of the sky come through. And the clear blue of the sky is often referred as that all-encompassing openness of consciousness. And so I'll share that Yvonne wrote me a text a couple of weeks ago, caught me by surprise. I think Ross and I were on a cruise, and I went, "You got to see this." And she said, "I'm starting to like you more and more every day." And she said, "Because I'm starting to see my younger self in you." And I thought that was such a nice compliment. And isn't that this teaching? We begin to see ourselves in everyone, don't we? We begin to see ourselves in everyone. And as I begin to see myself in everyone, I see myself in everyone, and it's reflected back to me, and the reflection becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And so our talk title today is Magic to Do. And did we get the slides in there, Chuck? The PowerPoints? So there we go. And our talk today is called Magic to Do, Miracles of the Heart. And so I'd like to welcome you home to the openness of your human heart. And I'd like you to take a moment and feel into your human heart right now, your human physical heart. I'd like you to feel into that. And I'd like you to feel it expanding. And if you want to expand your arms as the expression of your heart expanding, opening that heart, opening that heart, opening that heart, till you feel that heart expand into a greater awareness, a greater consciousness of openness. And that brings you into welcome Om. I'd like to welcome you Om to the divinity of your spiritual heart, which is right here. It's not physical, but it's a spiritual heart. And you feel that in presence, you feel it in emotions, you feel it in a tonality and a frequency vibration of harmony. And then I'd like to welcome all of us to love's unity. And that's what we're working on in Science of Mind teaching, that unity of our human heart and our spiritual heart, all as one heart. And the bridge that bridges the physical and the non-physical, the human and the divine, is love. And it bridges all hearts into one heart. And that's our Science of Mind teaching, isn't it? One heart, one mind, one body, one spirit of love is all. That's our teaching. And Ernest Holmes invites us to positively affirm. And I invite you to make welcome the knowing that in this teaching we do not pray the negative out. We pray the positive of the possibility in. And so he invites us to positively affirm these universal truths of one heart, one mind, one body, one spirit of love as all. And he invites us to affirm these as universal truths. These are not your individual truth. These are not worldly truths of this planet. These are universal truths that work and are present and are powerful and are possible in galaxies beyond galaxies, in worlds beyond worlds, in the unknown beyond the known. And that's what Science of Mind invites us to enter into, to make welcome in our life, is that knowing beyond the known. And that's this teaching. And Ernest Holmes says this of the power of affirmation. He says the power of positive affirmation demonstrates in accord with the love that we put into our affirmation. Ernest Holmes shares of these universal truths of one heart, one mind, one body, one spirit is all one great universal galaxy, all united in the presence of the greatness of that love of spirit. So he says the power of positive affirmation demonstrates in our life in accord with the love we put into it. And I was working on the talk and I thought, yes. And how do we see that demonstrated in our human realm? Life is always reflecting back to us the divinity within our humanity. It's always reflecting back the divinity within our humanity. Are we willing to see it? And so I thought, Science of Mind is like a checking account. You can't make a withdrawal until you've made a deposit. And the deposit Science of Mind asks us to make in the universal bank of consciousness is the deposit of our willingness to come to know ourselves better. Can we see universal principles related to the human bank account? You can't make a withdrawal from the bank unless you put a deposit in first. That's the way it works, and Science of Mind works in a similar way. You cannot make a withdrawal from the bank of consciousness of the universe until you've made a deposit. And the deposit Science of Mind invites us to make is the deposit of our willingness to come to know ourselves better. That's our Science of Mind teaching. I'm often asked, and I have been for decades now, I've been involved in this teaching, 3 decades, Ross almost 4 decades. I'm often asked the same question. What's Science of Mind? And the first thing I say, it's a terrible title for an absolutely terrific teaching. It's a terrible title for an absolutely terrific teaching. And in Science of Mind, we are a teaching. We are not a preaching. We don't preach of hell and damnation. We teach of heaven's divinity as one within our humanity. That's what we teach. There's no separation, only divine revelation. The divine is always revealing to us its presence. It's our willingness to come to know ourselves better as that divinity within our humanity that aligns our human experience with the greatness of heaven's experience on earth right here and right now. It's our willingness to be open. It's our willingness to see rightly. It's our willingness to open our heart to that universal presence of love. And that's our number one principle in Science of Mind. Love is all there ever is. And so Science of Mind for me is a welcoming invitation to come as you are. And through your willingness to take classes, your willingness to do your daily spiritual practice, you will come to love your greater yet to be. You will come to live your greater yet to be. And you will come to be the greater yet to be that Spirit already sees for you. Science of Mind is an invitation to break up, to break away, and to break free. Science of Mind is an invitation to break up, break away, and break free. And what do we have to do with? We don't have to. What's the opportunity? No have to. What's the opportunity when someone offers us an invitation? We get to either receive the invitation, open the invitation, or discard the invitation. And according to your willingness to receive an invitation, your willingness to open the invitation, according to your willingness is how much you will believe, receive, and achieve. Science of Mind is an open invitation to believe and to receive and to achieve. Are you opening that invitation? Are you open to taking classes? How many classes are you in? Are you open to daily spiritual practice? Before you opened your eyes this morning, did you pray in or set an intention that today is a day I will become more of my greater yet to be? Today is a day I will see the beauty and bounty and blessing of Spirit in the sunshine, in the blue sky, in this beautiful day. Are you taking classes? Are you doing your spiritual practice? And are you making welcome the invitation of this teaching to your greater yet to be? Science of Mind is about breaking away. It's about breaking free. And it's about breaking up and moving beyond the human conditions of chaos and calamity. How many people do we know who live in chaos and calamity? Reverend Temple Hayes calls that the mama drama trauma. When you're living in mama drama trauma, and everything is an emergency, everything is urgent, everything has to be taken care of in the moment. When you're living from the mama drama trauma of your past conditioning, you're living in chaos and calamity. And Science of Mind is an invitation to the willingness to the heavenly consciousness of creativity and calm. I don't know how many of you were here for Adrian's meditation this morning. And for Gilman's beautiful music, we're doing music 9:30 to 9:40, and just beautiful music, just to sit and be present, and then to go into that beautiful meditation, Adrian's centering meditation, that brought forth a creativity and a calm. Meditation's one of our invitations in Science of Mind. And so, how are we breaking up, breaking away, and breaking free? Or are we not? Are we hanging on and clinging and refusing to let go? Remember the cat's claws on a wall? Yeah, cat's claws on a chalkboard? Ooh! How many of us are hanging on and clinging on and refusing to let go into our greater yet to be? Neil Sedaka, this came to me when I was working the talk, they say that breaking up is hard to do. Now I know that it's true. And yet here's the thing about breaking up. That as I come to know myself better, you got to do some breaking up before you can fall back together. Falling apart is falling together. And what I've come to know myself better, that breaking up may be hard to do, but you don't have an option. This is not an option. You get to break up with all those things, the mama drama trauma that's not serving anyone, it's not serving you, and it's sure not serving the world. And so here what I've come to know, sometimes as I know myself better, I come to realize simply the world and the spirit telling itself to me, right? You got to put money in the bank account to make a deposit, to make a withdrawal. And also, it's about breaking up with eggs. You can't make an omelet without breaking the eggs. And you can't make a life that works without breaking open your heart. You can't. You cannot. If you're not willing to break open your heart, you can't have a life that works on the level of your spiritual magnificence. And until we're willing to break up with the way it is, until you're willing to live in the possibility of the world the way it could be, a world that works for everyone with no one left behind, until you're willing to break up with the norm, the normal, and the normality of species consciousness, you're never going to break free into the greater yet to be, whose spirit already knows you to be. And so, the day I broke up with normal is the day the magic began. The day I broke up with normal is the day the magic began. Ernest Holmes sings of the song Celestial, if you know his teaching. He and his brother wrote pretty much a book, but it's called The Song Celestial. And the song Celestial that Ernest Holmes channeled and brought forth was the celestial consciousness of knowing that all there is consciousness. That's all there is. There's nothing else. It's all consciousness. And so our talk title is Magic to Do, Miracles of the Heart. And if it's all consciousness, if the cloudy sky, and maybe some days it's so cloudy you can't see the clear blue of the sky. Maybe someday it's so cloudy that you can't even see the sun shining through. Maybe some days it's so dark in your life that you absolutely know there's no light left in your life. But Science of Mind invites us to know it's all consciousness. And if it's all consciousness, and it's all oneness, and it's all one heart, and it's all one love, and it's all one body, and it's all one mind, and it's all one spirit, then there must be light in the dark. There's no separation of light and dark. There's only this unity of energy. And so Ernest Holmes shares this, that the magic that is ours to do, the magic of our always growing inner consciousness, that's it, the MAGIC of the magic of our always growing inner consciousness, and that expands the miracles of our hearts. And the miracles within our heart that I invite us to willingly make welcome. Are you willing to invite this absolute truth of who you are, of your greater yet to be, that within our hearts is an inner gleam of love's light. It's an inner gleam. It's an inner glistening. And we get to choose to shine that inner gleam and that inner glistening of our love's inner light on the world without, or we get to choose not to. The choice is yours. You're going to gleam, you're going to dim down. You're going to open up your heart, that light of love, or you're going to shutter it. You're going to be the presence of love, or you're going to be the problem of the absence of love. It's your choice. Ernest Holmes shares this, and I found this. I was writing The Inner Gleam of Love's Light. And then, of course, as Spirit would have it, I came across this quote, which I've not heard before. Ernest Holmes shares this, of the magic to do, my always growing inner consciousness, and the miracles of the inner gleam of the light of love in my heart. And Ernest Holmes shares this, follow the inward gleam of your consciousness, and you will arrive. Follow the inner gleam of your consciousness, and you will arrive. What the heck does that mean, Ernest? What the heck does that mean? And so then I went to T.S. Eliot. And he says this about arriving. So Ernest says we're going to arrive to this inner gleam of our consciousness. Okay, Ernie. And then T.S. Eliot brings more clarity, and this is why we go to the great poets. This is why we go to the great philosophers. This is why we go to the great teachings of New Thought. But that New Thought includes everything. It includes Christianity. It includes Buddhism. It includes all of the great religions. That's what I love about this teaching. It's all in there. It's all, Ernest didn't leave anything out, but he also left it open at the top for us to bring anything in that works for us. And he left it open at the top to release anything that doesn't serve us, right? And so Eliot shares this of consciousness arriving. We shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time, to arrive exactly where we started and to know the place as if for the first time. And is that place where we started possibly the spark of consciousness? Is it possibly the spark of consciousness before consciousness itself? Is it possibly the spark before sparks ever existed? Is it possibly that known beyond the known of a place where there's no beginning and there's no ending and there's only one vibrational frequency, and that's the unity of love? Is that the place we began? Is that the place we forgot? And is that the place Ernest Holmes in Science of Mind writes us to remember? The magic of the miracles of our heart. It's where we began. It's what we choose and chose to forget. And it's our power of choice to choose to remember it once again. It's our teaching. This is not a linear teaching. This is not a linear teaching. And if you can picture a line, and we do it here, we circle up at the end of the service. And you can see everyone's sitting in a line, in a row, but we form a circle. If you can see that line forming into a circle, a line has a beginning and a middle and an end. Consciousness doesn't. Consciousness is a continuation with no beginning, no end, no center, no circumference, just oneness. And science proves it. The way the atoms in our cells move, they don't move from the center nucleus to the outer circumference of that cell by moving. They literally transform from the center to the circumference through the process of consciousness in which there is no time, there is no travel, there is no space. And it's kind of like Star Trek. Beam me up, Scotty. And our cells, the nucleus and the center of our cell goes to the circumference of our cell zillions of times a second, and there's no traveling. They can take a photograph of an electron. It does not travel. It just is here, and then it's here, and that's consciousness. That's our teaching. That's to know ourselves as if for the first time. That's the magic to do of our always growing inner consciousness. And Antoine de Saint-Exupéry themes this of consciousness in his book, Little Prince. This is the theme of his book. This is the theme of his life. This is the theme and the river and the flow of his consciousness. And he shares that in The Little Prince. And he says this, and I love this: the world is as childhood magical as the gleam of love in your heart. The world is as childhood magical as the gleam of love in your heart. Marianne Williamson shares this of the childhood consciousness of magic, the magic of my always growing inner consciousness, the magic of your always growing inner consciousness, the magicness of our always growing consciousness, the magic of societal growing consciousness, the magic of political growing consciousness that seem to be stuck right now. But in truth, it's evolving. In truth, it's evolving. There is no stuckness in consciousness. And so Marianne Williamson shares this of the place that we began, of that spark before there were sparks, of that consciousness before there was consciousness, of that beginning where there was no end. And Marianne Williamson shares this, of the childhood magical of the gleam of love in your heart. It never began, it never ended, it just is, and it always will be, and that's who we are. Marianne Williamson shares it in these beautiful words. We are all meant to shine and to gleam as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of spirit that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in all of us. It's in all of us. It's in everyone. And as we choose to let our own light shine and gleam from the within of our heart to without of the world, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Can you feel the gift of your presence? Can you feel the gift of that gleam and glimmer of the light in your heart? And can you feel the gift of opening your heart and unshuttering your light and letting it shine forth in the world? It shows up in magical ways. The magic of my always growing inner consciousness. This stuff, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff happen. You can willingly make it welcome. I was at Costco the other day, yesterday, and I'd lost a receipt, and I needed that receipt to turn into the center to be reimbursed, and I couldn't find it for a month. And I finally went to consciousness, and I thought, well, Costco must be able to. I had the credit card statement, so I took my credit card statement to Costco yesterday, and I said, I need this receipt, or I'm not going to get reimbursed for this, and I want to get reimbursed for this. And he said, show me your Costco card, show me your receipt. And the gentleman was so friendly and so open, and so, I mean, this was like the way customer service is supposed to be. He was showing up as an authentic self, and he found joy, and he looked, and I said, oh, please, you have to find that receipt. He said, no problem. Punched the computer. He said, tell me the items that you're looking for. I said, leg of lamb and ham, and it was for the Christmas Eve dinner that Rainbow Alliance sponsored, and the meats on there, the entrees. And he said, it's right here. Let me go print it out for you, and he gave it to me. And I left with him, and I said, you were prayer answered. You are prayer answered, and he got it. It wasn't about the receipt. It wasn't about the reimbursement. It was about the remembering and the rejoicing of being present with a human being who wanted to be nothing but helpful, who wanted to do nothing but find the possibility. We got it. We got you covered. No problem. And when he handed me that, I was glowing, and he was glowing, and it had nothing to do with the transaction. This teaching is beyond the transactional. This teaching is beyond the transactional. This teaching is transformational. I said to him, thank you. You made my day. And he just lit up and he said, you made mine. We went beyond the transaction. And we went into the transactional of being present with each other. This teaching is not transactional. This teaching is transformational. And it will take you back to the place where you began. The magic of our always growing inner consciousness. How are you being present with a customer service agent at Costco? Because the way you're being present with him is the way he's being present with you. And when you move into that consciousness, it has nothing to do with the transaction. It has to do with the gifts, the presence of the openness of his heart and the openness of my heart. And it was as loving a moment as I've had in many, I've had them often. I'll say in many, many days. I probably would have said many, many years before I entered this teaching. I'll say in many, many days. It's happening all the time, everywhere present. People are being so nice, I can't stand it. I mean, I cannot stand how nice people are being. They're waving me through at a four-way stop when it would clearly they were there first. It's amazing. And what's amazing is it's perfectly normal. Miracles are perfectly normal when we come to accept the greater being of who we're yet to be. Part of what is ours to do is to find ordinary magic in the ordinary, and to allow the miracle of the inner gleam of the love in our heart to transform the world without. Where can you move beyond a transaction with someone? Where can you move beyond a transaction with a corporation, evil corporation? Ross and I were in the process of reapplying for passports because we're going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, and our passports were less than 6 months. We had to get new ones. And so Ross, we worked with an agency, and they're all in process. And I shared this story the other day. We were at AAA, and I wore a white shirt, and the lady said, we can't take a photo of you in a white shirt against passport regulations. And my mind for 3 seconds went, oh, I got to drive home. I got to change a shirt. I don't have time for this. I'll come back Monday. Then the passport won't be here. 3 seconds. I got into the transactional. And in 3 seconds, I centered. And I came back to the transformational. And here's how it showed up in the everyday normal of life. I said, Ross, when you finish your photo, give me your shirt. Ross and I now have 2 identical passport photos wearing the same shirt. I do not know as we travel the world, and that is our plan over the next part. We're traveling. And I'm sure some passport agent is going to go, very interesting. Same shirt. And even Ross said it took you no time to come back to the possibility. No time. You don't waste time in the problem. You spend your time in the possible. Spirit's everywhere present. It gets better. We're doing this process, and we sent everything off to the agency in Washington, and they're checking everything. Spirit has a sense of humor. And Ross goes, I got the email that had been received, and they were checking it to make sure it was good before they sent it to the government. Ross gets an email after that. It goes, we're not accepting your passport photo. And I thought, oh my God, because I'm in the same photo and they won't accept 2 people in the same photo with the same shirt. And he was not facing squarely to the, now this is on AAA. We're not putting blame, no blame, shame, guilt, but this is on AAA. He was facing it like this way, and you have to be full shoulder. So his passport was delayed. He had to go to AAA, and he had to go to AAA and get another photo, and then $110 to send it overnight express to Washington. But he did it. He moved through the transactional, And he got into the spirits of transformation, of doing what you needed to do and finding the miracle, and everything's processing just fine. And then it gets better. You have to have a phone call from these people, and they get on this processing, and they talk to you. We're going step by step to make sure you've done everything correctly. And they're on the phone. It takes about 10 minutes. And Ross had been trying to get them to call back for 4 or 5 hours. And he left the number, called me back, no call back. And I said to myself, I'm going to call them, and I'm going to get right through. I called them. On the third ring, they answered. I got right through. The power of your intention. And I got them, and I got everything taken care of. And Ross said, give me that phone. Don't let that agent go. So I grabbed his shirt at AAA, and he grabbed my cell phone and said, I've been trying to get in touch with you left you 3 messages. You haven't called me back. Take my information. He took his information. So I borrowed his shirt. He borrowed my cell phone. But we both found the way to the possible. Maybe a small miracle. But you know what? You know the thing about miracles? The thing about miracles, there's no size to a miracle. There's no size to a miracle. Miracles about how open and willing are you to receive them. Science of mind is an invitation to the magic of your always growing consciousness. Science of mind is an invitation to the miracle of the greater you that's yet to be, and it's everywhere present. It's everywhere present when you stay centered and you stay focused and you stay faithful to the truth that all there is love. Costco, just an amazing experience. It was like a religious experience at Costco customer service. How are you willing to experience Costco customer service? How are you willing to experience the wrong shirt at AAA? How are you willing to experience someone who's telling you, I've been 4 times, I've left calls for 4 hours, they're not calling me back, and I literally set the intention, I'm going to call them and get right through an agent. I called and I got right through an agent. The magic of our always growing inner consciousness. It is said that what we are looking through determines what we will see in the world. And St. Exupery in The Little Prince says, it's only from the heart we see rightly. I was seeing that gentleman at Costco from my heart. That gentleman at Costco was seeing me from the heart. I was seeing myself from my heart at AAA, not from the conditions of the world, but from the consciousness of love. Made a phone call and I set the intention, and I got right through. You know, there's no size to miracles. It all depends on your willingness and your openness and your consciousness of seeing rightly from the heart. Because when you see people rightly from the heart, they see right into your heart. Brene Brown says the most courageous thing we will ever do as human beings, the most courageous thing we will ever do as human beings is let someone see into our heart. Most courageous thing you'll ever do. And she calls that vulnerability. Greatest gift of this teaching, it will bring you to a vulnerability beyond any vulnerability you've ever known. And in that vulnerability, you will come to an ability to see beyond the conditions of the world into the consciousness of worlds beyond worlds, of wonders beyond wonders. This is a wonderful teaching. It has a terrible name, but it's a wonderful teaching. There's a story of an elderly passenger, and it relates to it's only through the heart we see rightly. Taxi cab driver was called. He pulled curbside up to an apartment, knocked on the door, and an old lady called from behind, I'll be there in just a minute. I'm coming, making my way to the door. And he heard the sounds of shuffling feet and something being dragged to the door. The door was finally opened, and the house looked as though no one had lived there in years, and as if it belonged to another era. The apartment was barely furnished, and all the furniture was covered in sheets. The apartment seemed as though she would not be returning to it, as though this was her final visit and her final exit from this place she called home. The old woman asked the cab driver to carry her suitcase, and after he'd done that, he even helped her walk to the cab. She thanked him, and she said, she thanked him, and he said, it's nothing. I just try to treat my passengers the way I would want my mother to be treated. After the lady got in the cab and the driver got antsy to get to where she wanted to, the woman asked if he would be willing. Are you willing? Are you open to receive the invitation from your heart to open it to a greater love than you've ever known? Miracles in the everyday, ordinary. A cab driver and an old lady. And he replied saying she wanted to go downtown, drive through the downtown area. He said, it's not the fastest route, which meant it would be expensive. And she said something that touched him profoundly. Oh, I don't mind the cost and I don't mind the extra time. You see, I'm in no hurry. I'm on my way to hospice. He realized it was her last drive. And he saw her fighting back the tears in the rearview mirror. I don't have any family left. And the doctor says, I don't have very long. He was taken aback by that statement, and he quietly reached over and shut off the meter. The presence of everyday miracles. When you're willing to show a cab driver your heart, the cab driver will show you his. The presence of everyday miracles. He asked her, what route would you like me to take? And for the next 2 hours, they drove through the city she had so loved and so wanted to see for a final time. She showed him various phases of her life as he would pull up in front of a building where she had once worked and once lived and once her best friend lived there. Then they slowed down in front of a particular building that held memories for her. They sat staring at the building, and he watched her eyes light up as she looked at them, that light of love of the gleam in her heart. The light of love in the gleam of your heart shows through the light in your eyes. Shows through the light in your eyes. They drove through the neighborhood where she'd been welcomed as a new bride. Then she reminisced in front of what once was a ballroom, now a furniture warehouse, where she had danced as a teenage girl. After some hours, she declared, I'm tired now. I'm ready to go to my new home. They drove silently to the hospice house where 2 orderlies came out to the cab. As soon as they pulled up, she opened her purse, rummaging for cash, when she asked him, how much do I owe you? And he said, nothing. To which she said, you have to make a living. He said, there are other passengers. He bent to give her a hug when she responded, you gave an old woman a little moment of joy. This ride was not transactional. This ride was transformational. This ride in a cab on an ordinary day with 2 people who had never met each other, who came to know each other before they even knew each other, who came from the vulnerability and the willingness to show each other the love in their heart, the gleam of light in their heart. It transformed an ordinary cab ride into a transformational experience of 2 people coming together as one body, one mind, one heart, one energy of love as all there is. The ride transformed the cab driver to think how different it would have been for the old woman had he driven off or ignored her call. Would she have gotten an angry cab driver or a narrow-minded one? Life isn't made up of big moments, but rather it's the little everyday moments that we should enjoy. People may not remember exactly what you did or what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Sometimes what is ours to do is to stay in the magic of the moment and to allow the gleam and shine of our love in our hearts to transform the world without. Mary Oliver says that when we do stay in the moment, open our hearts and are vulnerable, a lifetime isn't long enough for the beauty of this world. When you come from the openness of the love in your heart, a lifetime is not long enough for the beauty of this world. On the surface level, science of mind can appear about parking spaces and princes and palaces. Yet for those who are willing to do the work, take the classes, and do daily spiritual practice, they come to a knowing beyond knowing. They come to embody, embrace, and express the science of mind teaching in a whole new way. Look, it's a terrible title, but it's a wonderful teaching. It's about principles and practices that lead to a presencing of love that transcend even the belief that we have to grow old. As we come to realize we don't grow old, we grow old when we stop growing. Science of mind is not your partner in crime. Science of mind is your partner in consciousness. Your partner is not there to complete you. Your partner is there to reveal you. Your spiritual partnership with whatever you call it, love, energy, essence, purpose, sun, light, blue of sky, consciousness. It's not your partner in crime, it's your partner in consciousness. And what a good partner does is to reveal to you who you are. Our partnership with life is about revealing to us the divinity within our humanity. Science of mind is about being consciously connected in the now of this moment, in the now of the glory of knowing all is well all the time. Science of mind is not about the franchising of our conditions. Science of mind is about the freedom of our consciousness, the freedom of our consciousness to be all that we can be. And we come to be all that we can be by coming and becoming the seeing rightly from the heart. We're talking about magic. My always growing inner consciousness, a journey within that changes our world without. Grandma Moses spent most of her life adhering to societal expectations. Born in a small town, she married young, built a life defined by routine, and she always felt a subtle void, a sense of her authentic self, the curious artistic soul that loved to paint, loved music, loved literature, loved philosophy, and she felt that remained dormant. For decades, she defined herself externally in how other people saw her, instead of seeing herself rightly from her heart. We know the story. Late, near her 80s, she began to let her authentic self express, to do what she wanted to do. She took a painting class. She painted. And she came to emerge into the person that she was meant to be, her greater self to be. She released all patterns, ingrained patterns of the way it was supposed to be. And her journey came to embody the timeless message. And her paintings reflect this timeless message. It's never too late to know yourself and live authentically. She went on to have a fabulous career in painting, and because what she revealed in her paintings was her heart, she opened her heart through her paintings. And when you look at Grandma Moses painting, it opens your heart. That's art. That's art. That's dance. That's music. That's prayer. How in good conscience can we in this country for decades have cut the funding to our schools' art programs, have cut the funding to our schools' music programs, have cut the funding to students traveling around the world? How in good conscience? How in good conscience? That's where life lives. That's where life breathes. That's where our authentic self lives. Our talk today has been magic to do. We talked about the magic of our always growing inner consciousness and the miracles of the heart of just being present with another. And that the present of our presence is the greatest gift we can bring to this world. Joseph Campbell shares of the hero's journey. It's one of leaving behind our outer conditions, of entering into the world of our consciousness within, and then emerging back into the world without with new awareness, new awakenings, and new aliveness. In order to let go of what was, we have to be willing to receive the greater of our yet to be. And often to receive the greater of our yet to be of the divinity that's within our humanity. Try this one on for size in a noisy world. We have to sit in the whispers of the silence of our soul. we have to sit in the whispers of the silence of our soul and to feel the wonder of the love in our hearts. Joseph Campbell writes this about the separation from spirit, about the separation of our humanity and divinity, about separation of people on this life plane who refuse to be vulnerable and open their hearts and let their light shine. Joseph says, I missed you quietly today. I missed you so quietly that no one noticed. I missed you as I climbed out of bed and as I brushed my teeth. When I waited at the lights on the drive into work and as I heard the rain outside my window, I missed you. He's talking about his authentic self. I missed you as I ordered lunch, as I kicked off my shoes when I got home, as I switched off the lights and climbed into bed for the night. I missed you without tears or noise or fanfare. But how I felt it. We must be willing to get rid of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. The old skin has to be shed before the new one can come. If we fix on the old, we get stuck. When we hang on to any form, we are in danger of missing the next form of yet to be. Hell is life drying up. The hoarder, the oneness that wants to keep, to hold on, we must let that fall away. If we are hanging on to the form of the now, we're not going to have the form of our next yet to be. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. The day I broke up with normal, the magic began. The day I broke up with normal, the magic began. The day I broke up with normal, the magic began. And so ends our talk. And so, I'm going to invite Gilman to do our post-talk song. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. When I heard the word magic, this is just the first tune that jumped to my mind. This is from way back in the Summer of Love. Yes, I'm that old. But I had to change some of the words to make it a little more inclusive. So it came out something like this.
Do you believe in magic, in the human heart? How the music can free us whenever it starts, and it's magic. If the feeling is groovy, makes you feel happy like an old-time movie. Tell you about the magic that'll free your soul, but it's like trying to tell a stranger about rock and roll. If you believe in magic, don't bother to choose if it's jug band music or rhythm and blues. Just go and listen. It'll start with a smile and wipe off your face no matter how hard you try. Your feet start tapping and you can't seem to find how you got there, so just blow your mind. We'll dance until morning, till our spirit is free. Maybe, if the music is right, we'll gather tomorrow in the bright moonlight. We'll go dancing, baby, then you'll see how the magic's in the music. The music's in me, yeah. Do you believe in magic? Yeah. Believe in the magic in a human soul. Believe in the magic of rock and roll. Believe in the magic that can set you free. Oh, talk about your magic. Do you believe in magic? Oh, do you believe a believer? Yeah, do you believe in magic?
All right.
John Sebastian.
Fabulous. Thank you, Gil, so much for that energy. So the day I broke up with the normal is the day the magic began. And so I invite us now, it's our time of giving, and I invite us to read this together. I invite our ushers to come forward and take up the offering. So if our ushers will come forward today, and we'll read this together. I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. If you're online love streaming, you can go to our website, cslbeaumont.org, and hit the donate button. You can text to give to 951-420-6909. You can give on Zelle by putting in our main center number. You can also give by plastic. We've got a credit card reader in the office if you see Marcia. So we are willing to receive your blessing in many ways. And know, as always, your blessing is your gift of your presence. The gift of your presence.
Thank you, God, for everything.
All right, and so now I invite us to circle up. If you're new, you haven't been here in a while, we circle up, surround the sanctuary in the best circle we can make. Sometimes it's an oblong, oval, but the best circle we can make. We hold hands and we sing our way out, and Gilman's going to lead us in song, I believe, on this.
Yeah, this is a song by one of my favorite New Thought songwriters. You may have heard the name before. His name is Al Yankee.
Oh, we've heard of that gentleman.
Okay.
We do know that name.
I used to think I would always be alone, separate, misunderstood. Sorry, it's got a big long intro here. I spent my days in quiet desperation. On the outside, things looked good. Then I discovered the error of my thinking, the lie at the base of all my fears. So simple that it turned my world around. Why did it take so many years? Do we have lyrics on this, Chuck? Maybe? Hold that pose here. Can't find it? Okay. Now I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my heart wide open. I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. Yes, I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. And I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open, wide open. There is no separation, no matter what it looks like. There is no separation, no matter what they say. No separation except what I imagine. And I imagine separation's gone away. And I am walking with my eyes wide open. I am knowing with my mind wide open. And I am loving with my heart wide open. I am walking with my eyes wide open. Yes, I am walking with my eyes wide open. And I am knowing with my mind wide open. And I am loving with my heart wide open. Yes, I am walking with my eyes wide open. Wide open. Wide open.
Whoa. All right. And so what I'm knowing today is something wonderful, presence itself at CSL Beaumont, and that presence of spirit that invites us to willingly make welcome the knowing beyond knowing, that the eyes that we're to open are the eyes of the window of our soul and the eyes of the wonder of the love in our heart. And as we wander through the ways of this world, we're always invited to wander with our eyes wide open, to wander with our hearts wide open, to wander with our souls ever flowing. And together we say, and so it is. We have